So now, go down to verse 3.
Grace to you. Stop.
Yeah.
What is grace? It's not just something we say over our meal. It's not a girl we know from church. What is grace? Grace to you and peace. Grace. What is grace? Come on, you know where
You
we're
want
going.
to look that up?
You know where we're going, right?
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
look up what is grace.
Let's go over here to Mr. Webster. Talk to me, Daniel.
Yeah. What is
Grace?
Okay. We have the grace.
Grace and peace.
Yeah.
Grace. Okay, here we go. This is according to Daniel Webster's Webster's Dictionary, 1823 version.
1828.
1828 version, excuse me. 1828 version. Grace, favor, goodwill, kindness, disposition to oblige another, as a grant made as an act of grace. 2, appropriately the free, unmerited love and favor of God, the spring and source of all the benefits men receive from him.
Wow, that's some powerful
As
stuff.
if by grace, then it is no more of works, Romans 11:6. So, appropriately, it's the free, unmerited. In other words, there's nothing you can do to gain it. You can't be good enough to gain God's favor. Did you hear that? The free, unmerited love and favor of God. It's the spring and source of all the benefits men receive from him. Now, I'm going to help you out a little bit. My people were country people from North Carolina. We lived in the area of, or they lived in the area of North Carolina, where there was a bunch of springs. Now, what is a spring? Not the thing in your bed, not the season spring, but springs. A spring is a place in the earth where fresh water would just shoot up from the air. You didn't have to dig a well. You didn't have to get somebody to come in and drop pipes to get water. Water would just spring up from the earth. And in the area they lived in, there was places like the church we went to was called Coley Spring. There was a Cool Spring. There was a Sulphur Spring. It was all these places named after springs. Now, when I came along, they were no longer there, the springs, because, you know, the growth and stuff, people weren't getting water like that anymore. And so the woods grew up around it, and so, you know, you couldn't find them. But when my mama was a girl, when they wanted fresh water, they would go to the spring, take a bucket, and the water would come up, and they would ladle the water into it, but it's clean, fresh water, and that's what they would drink. A spring is a natural source of goodness.
How about that?
That's what it was. And so they would get clean, fresh, cool water from out of the earth, spring, summer, fall, winter. I mean, wintertime you had to break the ice because it would freeze. But that's where you would get your fresh water. And before my mama came along, in these same areas, the people in the 1800s would come to parts of North Carolina, I think it was South Carolina as well, and they would bathe in these waters. If they had like arthritis, and they had what they call mineral springs. And that fresh water was mineral rich. You could drink it, it wouldn't hurt you, but you could also soak your body in it. They had a place called sulfur springs, which means there was sulfur in the water that they believed would help the body feel better. So a spring is a natural place where goodness comes about the ground. So when it says here that God is the spring and source of all the benefits men receive from him, out of God's goodness, out of God's favor, he just pours good.
Yeah. And you don't deserve
You don't deserve the good.
but he pours it out on you anyway.
Anyway.
That's great.